I'm Ivy, and welcome to the Ivy Reports. I'm blessed with this opportunity to share with you my thoughts and shed a little light on anything and everything that has to do with the cannabis community each and every week. This is extremely important to me because we need to decriminalize marijuana, hemp, and cannabis like now. I have seen true drug abuse, and it pains me to see the billions of dollars that's wasted and the lives that are ruined over a miracle plant that is unjustly deemed as a gateway drug. A gateway to what? A good nap? A nice snack? Come on, people. America, it is time to wake up. Marijuana used to be legal. George Washington grew it, Thomas Jefferson grew it. Hell, even the original Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper. Wake up, America. It is time to celebrate our freedoms, and there is so much to celebrate today with over 80 ballot initiatives being voted on for marijuana reform. Big ups to Guam for paving the way and being the first of 14 U.S. territories to join the medical green team by passing Prop 14A. Hell, even the people in our nation's capital are saying they want decriminalization by passing Initiative 71. Hey, maybe soon you won't get busted for smoking while you're protesting. But look, there's 23 states that have now legalized medical marijuana. And now Oregon and Alaska are a part of the recreationally happy. We are making history and changing lives. Doesn't this remind you a little bit of that thing called prohibition that we had way back in the 20s where the federal government had laws that the states had to fight against to change? Well, I had the opportunity to speak with Brett Pajunas earlier today just on that very subject. Let's check it out. I am so excited to get your political insight on everything that's going on in the cannabis community right now. So you are currently the chairman of the Libertarian Party of Nevada and formerly the Libertarian National Committee member. Okay. With everything that is going on today, do you think that this is prohibition all over again?
The short answer is yes. The long answer is it's an exciting time because we're going to have something that emulated something very similar to what happened with Prohibition. You're seeing the same trends where you see the states saying enough is enough, and they're trying to legalize marijuana. A lot of states have already legalized medical marijuana. They're all focusing in on recreational right now. And the same thing happened with Prohibition. Then they put a lot of pressure on the federal government so that they would then, change the laws and make alcohol legal. We're hoping to have the same effect with medical marijuana and recreational use as well. I was for the war on drugs once upon a time, and how I came off of that is I first looked at the financial aspect. I saw how much money we're spending every single year on the war on drugs, and then I saw the percentage of that that's being allocated towards just marijuana. I'm like, wait a second, we're spending this much money on a plant? Who cares? Who cares? We don't have the money to fight it and whatever. Then I moved to the next discussion, which was lives that were being ruined, again, over a plant. So people are going to jail, and us, the taxpayers, we're spending $40,000, $50,000, $55,000 a year per inmate for 10 years because somebody had weed on them. That's crazy, but then they come out as a felon. It's just absolutely amazing. So then you get to the liberty discussion, which is what the libertarians always say. We don't want the government to tell you what you can and cannot put in your body. So that's kind of where I am now, and I kind of start with that instead of the financial or the lives that are being ruined, but we've got to do something.
With what's happening in Nevada, the state just approved numerous dispensary and cultivation and production licenses, as you know. Could you tell me a little bit more about what is going on with this process?
It's been a pretty strenuous process. There's been a lot of mistakes have been made. We're going to make a lot more, but I believe that the state's heading in the right direction. I think that maybe even this next legislative session, we're going to see a lot of changes. I'm certainly going to be up in Carson City supporting these bills. We're going to do everything we can to try and get this pushed through, even if it's incremental. Bills might not be perfect, but if we can go back to what I was talking about earlier, we're saving people's lives by not putting them in jail. That's a big step in the right direction. So I think that the process is it's in its infancy stage. We're going to figure this thing out as we go along, but we'll see what happens. Now, the other thing is we had the ballot initiative, the Coalition to Regulate and Tax Marijuana Like Alcohol. They did get the necessary signatures, so that will be on the ballot in 2016. And so that's going to leave it up to the voters. Now, hopefully, our legislators don't punt this and just let the voters decide. Hopefully, they can make some real decisions and get things going and implement this immediately, because they had the power to do so.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the differences between local, state, and federal policy?
What everyone's focusing on initially was federal. Everyone tried to start with the federal government, and then they realized that couldn't work. They didn't have the support. So then they went to the states. And what happened, when I mean them, there's lots of different groups out there, different coalitions, different nonprofits, different advocacy groups that have been fighting for better marijuana laws and legalization, of course. And they're starting to achieve pretty good success. They started with the medical applications, with medical marijuana, and I believe there's 18 or 22 states, maybe now there's closer to 24 states that have approved medical marijuana. And again, it's incremental, it's a step in the right direction, and of course we have Washington and Colorado, which have approved full recreational use. Hopefully there's going to be a few more states that follow that. But the interesting part is the local, like when you get to the localist level of government, which is city and county, of course. And cities and counties are feeling like they're missing out, so they're trying to get involved in the process.
Could you tell us where we can go to find out what you're doing with the Libertarian Party of Nevada?
Sure, our website is LP Nevada, spelled out, so it's lpnevada.org. We have a ton of information on there. We have a whole legislative section on there where we're going to be talking about what we're going to be fighting for. We'll be up in Carson City the entire legislative session, and this is the first time we've really had a presence up there, so we're pretty excited about that. But yeah, people can sign up for our newsletter. We're pretty, we communicate fairly regularly with our members, and we have a lot of fun events. So you got to check out our events page.
Brett, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today, and I look forward to getting back with you in the future for more of your political insights. This is Ivy for the Ivy Report. Here with me now is Las Vegas businessman Mark Bradley, CEO of PNTV and parent company to all of us here at Weed TV. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Recently, you were awarded 2 licenses in the city. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, PNTV is the parent company to Greenleaf Farms, which applied for 3 licenses, a dispensary, production, and cultivation. And we got our production and cultivation license. And so we're going into business in the medical marijuana to help support Weed TV next year.
Can you tell me a little bit more about PNTV?
Players Network, we're the only publicly traded company fully reporting in the United States that has a medical marijuana establishment license. We're a media company. Weed TV is one of our projects, and the medical marijuana is really an extension of merging a brick and mortar business together with digital.
Mark, can you please tell me your thoughts on the medical marijuana policy on the local, state, and federal level?
Well, they're all 3 completely different things. The federal level isn't even recognizing this as a legal industry. Not yet. It'll take them a few years to get around. So the state law through our 10th Amendment is actually superseding federal in this particular case. The state set the merit system and they're given the licenses. The local is actually giving you the land use permit. So there's really 2 different things happening here. They all have to work together. You need the land, you need the special use permit, and you need the state license in order to get approved. Some people that are getting approved, that got approved, deserve to get approved. Other ones, we'll see.
Understood. Still an uphill battle here locally, but we will keep you informed as everything happens. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Mark Bradley, CEO of PNTV, brought up an amazing point about how the federal government and the state government are always at odds in making their decisions. The federal government has got to come around eventually. It just only makes sense. It is illogical to me that we are having this kind of argument and this much fight to get something passed that only makes sense. We'll talk about that more in the future. In the meantime, I am Ivy, and this is the Ivy Report. Thank you so much for joining us. Please follow me on Twitter at the Ivy Report. Your questions and your comments are very important to me, so please email me at ivy@weedtv.com. This is Ivy at the Ivy Report, signing off for now.